5 ways to think out the box. Think it out. Think it out. Okay. 5 ways to think outside the box. First of all, like when people say, you just need to think outside the box, like what does that exactly mean? So I think it's just like thinking of something in a new perspective or approaching something in a different way than you would normally approach it. So that maybe you come up with a brand new idea or something interesting or spontaneous that you wouldn't normally think of. So how do you do that though? You can't just like, hey, think outside the box, and then you do. But there are a lot of like tips and tricks that can help get our brain there, thinking in new ways. So I'm gonna give you 5 tips right now, and you're not gonna believe the last one. Tip number 1, and I kind of talk about this a lot, but it's being present, being in the moment, because a lot of times our minds are thinking either about the past or thinking about the future, and somehow we miss a lot of what's going on in the present. So if we can really put ourselves in our bodies and experience, I really mean experience, the present. I mean from all of our senses. So if we're really taking in what we're seeing and what we're hearing and what we're feeling, more things are gonna come to us because our whole body is focused in the here and now. So if you're not really in the present, which most of us aren't, then it splits your focus. So instead of really experiencing the here and now, we're kind of here, but then our focus is also out there. We need all of our focus, our senses, our ability to be in the here and now to come up with these brand new ideas. So it sort of sounds like, well, duh, I'm in the present moment because I'm like right here. But there are so many times where we're not. We're thinking about something next week, or we're feeling emotions tied to something that happened yesterday. So if we can shift our focus, our body, our awareness to right now, brand new perspective, brand new experiences are gonna come to us. So whenever you can, just like stop. What am I looking at like right now? What are the colors that I see? What are the feelings I have? So like, it's really wonderful when you're outside and all of a sudden you get hit by like a breeze and it puts you in the present moment. So that's gonna help you think in new ways. So tip number 2, meditate. So some of you might already meditate. Some people might be like, oh, why? I don't want to meditate. It doesn't have to be a religious thing. It's a way to connect your body to the here and now. And it's also a way to kind of quiet your mind and put you sort of in tune with the universe. And sometimes, like, there's all these creative ideas out there. This is kind of a little woo-woo, but there's all these kind of creative ideas out there wanting to land in your lap, and you are too stressed out or focused on other things that they don't come in to your body. So meditating is really wonderful, and you can only do, like, you should do it on a daily basis, but even if you do 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, it quiets your brain. It allows these wonderful creative ideas to land in your lap and come out. But we have to stop. We have to breathe. We have to allow for those ideas to come in, or maybe they're already in your brain, but they're hidden. And so when you quiet your mind, they come out. So meditation is really important. And lots of people have rituals around them. You could just sit and breathe. Close your eyes and breathe and get very connected with your body and allow the space for the ideas to come through you. They're ideas that are maybe hidden or floating around that you wouldn't normally think of, and allowing that space lets them come out. So try meditating, and you can look, there's so many different ways to do it, but just quieting the mind and breathing will help you think outside the box. Okay, tip number 3. So this is a silly, fun one, but it actually really works. What I want you to do is read a book from a completely different genre. Because it gets you thinking in different ways. So like if you like nonfiction books, or if you like mystery, try a romance novel, try a sci-fi novel. What it does is it gives you a completely different world that you're not used to being in, and it puts you there. So it makes you think in different ways. It gives you different perspective on different characters, different people. So I'm a lover of books. So I always say read, read, read whenever you can. But if you can read from different genres to kind of open up your brain to different ideas, different experiences, that is going to give you so many different ideas that you wouldn't normally have. So it's a great and fun way to think outside the box. All right, tip number 4, thinking from someone else's perspective. So I love this one, partly because I'm an actor, and so we have to do this all the time when we're assigned a role. But what I love about it, and I love giving this exercise to teenagers, because at that age, you're kind of really focused on yourself. And if you can focus on other people and other people that don't think like you, and if you could put yourself in their shoes, why did they do that? Why do they have that behavior? Like, everybody does things for a reason. And sometimes we don't know what that is because we think very differently from other people. But if you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and think about what makes them tick, why do they do those things that they do? Like, it opens yourself up to, like, that's interesting, or I would have never thought of that, or like, that behavior is not something I like, but now I understand why people do that. So it just gives you brand new perspective, and it forces you to think outside the box and be less judgmental. That's the thing, is when we become judgmental, we narrow our focus, we narrow our brains, we narrow our opinions. But if we can put ourselves in other people's shoes, we kind of open that up. And when we open that up, these ideas can start flowing. And things that you never would have thought of before can pop into your head. Tip number 5. Okay, probably not gonna believe this one, but ask a child for advice. Worst case scenario, you're just gonna probably laugh and have a really fun time listening to what they say. But children look at the world in such different eyes than we do. They're not jaded yet. The possibilities are endless with life. And so sometimes when you ask their opinion about a problem or about something, the ideas that they come up with are brilliant. Funny, usually, but kind of brilliant because they have no limits. And so their brain isn't like put in a box yet. Kids don't have these boxes. They always think outside boxes. So it's really fun to get their opinion and kind of sit in that feeling of like, oh yeah, like I was young once. I didn't have all these parameters on the way I think, and anything was possible when you were a kid. So I want you to put yourself, if you can, in a child's shoes. I want you to, like, life is limitless. It has all these possibilities. So go find children that you know and ask them, like, their opinion. Go hang out with some kids and ask for their advice. What?
Don't say that.
Go hang out with some kids. Don't touch them.
Oh my god.
Just hang out with them.
Like, ask a child in your life.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Go to some school.
Melissa.
Sit with them at lunch.
Yeah. Go troll for some kids in the park.
Yeah. Go on social media.
Oh no.
Okay, right. All right. And hear like all of their answers, and don't poo-poo them at first, because sometimes when a kid says something, you're like, that's not real life. Blah blah blah. Be open and hear all of the possibilities and see if you can sit in that childlike mindset, and you are going to completely think outside the box. So don't discard this one. I want you to try it because I think you're going to surprise yourself. So those are 5 tips that are going to help you think outside the box. But guess what? I have 5 more, so stay tuned for the next video.